Alright, it's looking good. We are live. Hi, everybody. We'll wait for people to filter in for a minute here. And hopefully Julian will come as well. Today, we are looking at the 2 Pokemon Snap games. I'm extremely excited.
And this will be my introduction to Pokemon, by the way, which...
Me too.
Joe may hold this against you because he had a whole plan to have me play the very first one as my first Pokemon, so,
this doesn't count as a Pokemon game. Joe shouldn't hold this against us.
He might.
No.
Are you familiar with the concept of Pokemon, Dana? Karen?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've seen the anime, so, like...
Yeah, this is great. So, these games are not
Wait, are we
Pokemon
watching
games
you? We're
in the
watching you
traditional
right
sense.
now. Who are we
Yeah, I'm not
watching?
starting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Ryan is gonna.
You all should be watching my screen on Discord,
Okay.
right? Because I'm
you.
gonna intro the old game, and then we're gonna jump to either Sarah or Julianne. I think Sarah first, maybe, because you're here. You win.
If Julianne shows up.
We've been
Then
talking with her
that
for
will
like an
be
hour,
more.
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, she's a comin'. I will note, Julianne and I have been like hyper fixated on the DNC. And partly as a mechanism to avoid more difficult work and conversations, I actually have a pair of headphones underneath my headphones right now in case Beyonce shows up. I will let everybody know.
As rumors have it.
That's right.
I've heard so many rumors about. Oh, we can't start without her.
Okay, that's fine. This is just the demo, Julianne. I'm letting it run here. If I hit start, it's fine.
Yeah,
it was fine. RetroArch just crashed on me. That's cool. Hold on.
Huh, well, there you go. We can't start anyway.
Right.
I will say, I may as well admit to the shame publicly because I think people will find this entertaining who really do know Pokemon. Again, I've never played any of them. I had a Game Boy growing up, but I only had Harvest Moon and Tetris. And then I played Link's Awakening. So I think those were the only games I ever played on the Game Boy. We just didn't really collect for it. So I missed Pokemon as a phenomenon, but like I knew about the anime. My brother kind of got into the anime at one point. The translated version, and I've seen Joe watch it in Japanese. So I've seen it. But there was a time where I was trying to recall the name of the cat that follows around Team Rocket.
Yes.
I may or may not have referred to him as Mewtwo, and Joe's never going to let me forget that, because cat, Pokemon in my head, like, Meowth? What kind of a name is Meowth?
I mean, I love reading like the little things that come with like any Pokemon toys, because we've got a bunch of kid Pokemon toys, and seeing how they've translated them into other languages and how they've tried to make them punny.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of my favorite things is like, how did they make it punny in French? So I had the blue version 100,000 years ago, and I actually had all 151, and the only one that wasn't legitimate was Mew, because I lived in the middle of nowhere and could go to no Nintendo events.
Okay,
So
I'm here. Sorry.
Julian,
Hi.
Oh no, how come when I stream to Discord, it goes away?
Are we
That's
going to
not
have to
cool.
old school just watch it on the...
I don't know yet. Give me a minute here. Hold on.
I just,
haven't done that in
while
a long
Ryan's
time.
figuring it out, I just want to take a moment to say I have a brand new laptop from school, and I am bathed in light.
Okay,
My webcam is not dark.
Discord friends and stream audience friends, if Felt Cute can help me out there. Hi, by the way.
Congratulations.
Can everybody
How's Discord
see
working for you?
Pokemon Snap right now?
Great.
My
I
version.
can see
I can see
Pokemon
it.
Snap.
Okay.
It's not working for Ryan, but it's working for me.
Stream, can you see it?
Weird
Yes,
seed.
okay, everybody
Yes.
sees it?
I
We're
love
good. It's working now.
Bulbasaur.
Fantastic.
I think I would probably...
Julian, the only
want
thing
to
you've
play
missed
with
is I
Bulbasaur
typed in the
as,
name Streamy
I don't know,
a
a
couple
main.
hours ago. So this is like
Nice.
Professor Oak is talking to Streamy now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I played this on the N64 at my orthodontist's office, because I don't think we had this game. Dr. Ray's
Games at your
office.
For
orthodontist?
Dana and Karen,
Yes!
this is not a Pokemon game in any traditional sense. You should think of this as alternate Star Fox 64, where instead of
Which is why I
shooting
like
things, and doing violence, we take pictures, but you still have to like adjust the target in your sights and hit the button, right?
I mean, to be fair, you are
I
still
have
shooting
never
things.
thought about it that way, because photography is the closest thing I have to a hobby.
I
played this game to death. This game is 35% of my personality, and
good. Now I'm
I
gonna learn.
haven't
I'm gonna
seen
learn
it.
exactly who Julianne is.
I haven't seen it since like for years and years. This is like bringing back. Wah!
They have not upgraded the storage in the camera. You can also only take 60 pictures in like the Switch version, which is insane. Storage is so cheap.
we're on-
is like a technology that just never gets better.
It's a rail shooter photography game.
Yes, it is.
Are you trying
Yeah.
to get like particularly good pictures, or do you just have to get a
Yes.
picture of each one?
Well,
You want good pictures. It judges
There's
you.
rules.
What the heck was that noise?
there's
that
a
that
lot
one
of
made?
judging, and I disagree with it in New Pokemon Snap. I'm gonna go on about that at length in my
Can you
section.
throw things, by the way?
Not
You throw
yet,
things?
Julian.
Okay. Hi.
Otherwise, I would wake the Snorlax right there. Hello, Frank and Andrew.
We have our like.
Oh look, it's Meowth or Mewtwo if you're Dana.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just thought we should
He's
like
never
tie
gonna
it
let
back.
me forget that. I'm never gonna live that down in this household.
I have
I love the vulnerability
I have
that you
inverted
shared that
controls
with
on.
us.
That I
which
shared
is
that with the entire
unacceptable.
stream. That
Yeah.
I mixed it.
Yeah, like your willingness to be vulnerable.
I
On
once told
such
Doug
a-
Perry that story, which if that's not vulnerability, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
with
Doug
that.
is a very big.
I
YouTube
just want to
fan.
point out the easy
Oh, get the
listening
Lapras.
reggae that we have going on. Oh, you got the Lapras?
I
Yes.
did, yes.
Actually, I learned all my Pokemon not from Pokemon, but from Pokemon Snap. I'm not. I
Okay.
don't think I'm kidding.
I
So one
of the
actually
weird
had
things
never
about the
played
new
this
one-
as a kid until Nintendo 64 emulation became a thing.
Oh, I should be the one streaming this. Actually, I'm the only one here that like played the OG.
I played it too. I just didn't have it at home. I only had it at Dr. Ray's office.
It's true.
While
I
I
had
was waiting for my
orthodontic
braces
games as
appointment.
well.
It's a Kangaskhan.
Like
The nice thing about this one is I actually remember
around
all
for
of
me,
the Pokemon's
Kangaskhan.
names. The new ones have all sorts of things that I don't actually recognize. But that Kangaskhan is so happy.
So
Yeah, I
I
remember,
am
like,
of
the
the
first
opinion that I don't have to know any
100
Pokemon after Diamond and Pearl. I'm sorry, they quit making them at that point.
I am not super up. Like, I played the blue and then I missed a bunch. But Amelia got really into the Alolan era of the anime, so I
Yes.
know an uncomfortable amount
So,
about that.
can we talk about some of the photo rules as well that we'll probably learn a little
Yes,
bit
please.
now?
The game
Some
will
of them
inform
are
us and we can talk about them there.
Well, I'm guessing. Some of them are being in the center of the image.
Mhm.
Some of them are the Pokemon should be looking at you. But if they're making a particular gesture, you can actually like unlock weird gestures for them by doing things.
Does it
that also
automatically
counts?
mark them for me the very first round?
It must.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can because you have to. What?
No, I have some.
Did you go over? Like click over?
I can't.
No. You took no pictures. Did no pictures.
Right?
I'm gonna sip my cider. Because pumpkin spice lattes launched today.
Now here I don't remember. Wait, press press
I
it
can't
like
choose.
I guess
Oak's
keep
mark.
going. Yeah, keep going.
Maybe I
guess.
redo the beach here. We'll see.
Welcome back.
Oh my god, that welcome back.
Yeah, there was nothing there.
Dun, dun, dun,
Hmm.
dun, boom, boom.
It was a corrupt SD card. Actually, it was probably a compact flash.
Let's
There
try it
is-
again. We'll see if the
There's
emulator
a-
is friendly.
If it's like the other one, I think like you could also sort of zoom to the end if you want to just test, like take one Pidgey picture or whatever.
No, you can't do it there. You
This
have to
is
like.
old school.
Yeah.
You might not be able to zoom yet.
Oh, until
Like
you're
to
like a little
go
bit
faster.
for.
Look at how cute the Pikachu is.
Oh, good. You got him. You got him looking.
Yeah.
Vibing.
You always want to get your Pikachu looking.
So does this become
Yeah.
like a strategy in some levels where like because you only have X number of snaps, you kind of gotta
Yes.
Yes, and eventually you get the ability to throw rocks at Pokemon as well.
And apples.
And
And
apples.
apples, because they'll
Fluff
eat
fruit.
them.
I think they're fluff fruit, or at least in the new one.
quite
They're
mean.
fluff.
Okay, but what you can do then is like you can wake up the Snorlax and
That's
get
a
him to look at
Snorlax.
you.
I know that one.
You can wake up the Snorlax, yeah.
Yeah, this
too,
is
over
bringing
there.
back a lot of memories, but most of my time has been spent with the new one, and I'm excited to compare and contrast.
I have a fast forward button because this is an emulator, and I'm going to use it after I get the Lapras and the Kangaskhan.
Wait, Kangaskhan? What?
Yes.
Gang. What-
Kangaskhan. If
Yeah,
you
like a
mashed up
kangaroo.
Genghis Khan with kangaroo, because I gotta look
Okay,
cool.
okay. Yeah, because
Got
I
it. Yeah.
sometimes the puns are a bit far-fetched.
Oh, ho, 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 ho! Do you need to be hit with a leak? There's a Pokemon named Farfetch'd. I
I
wasn't
don't
sure
know
if you
what
knew
a
that
lot
one.
of these are. Like, what's the buzzy, like, fly-looking one?
There are a couple.
The Butterfree?
Maybe. The one that went, "Hee!"
Oh, the Kangaskhan doesn't
That
look
sounds
at
like
me. Can I
many
get a shot
Pokemon.
at it, like, being awesome?
I think you have
Yeah.
to have
I mean,
something to
usually-
throw at it.
Yeah.
So it
That's
gets.
Pidgey, right?
The one of those
and
might
then
be a
it evolves into
Pidgeotto.
Pidgeotto.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
Pidgeot and then Pidgeotto.
But, like, in the evolution chain of a
Yes,
Pidgey.
yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. Did they just
Oh yeah, it's like a
tornado
bonus.
They did just tornado,
our
yeah.
Meowth friend over there? Wow.
Yep.
Oh, now it's gonna let.
Oh.
What's it
Okay.
doing? What's it
Flash
Why
doing?
is
did it
warning,
flash
y'all.
like that?
We
Nice.
love
I don't know, but
emulation.
you can pick Oaksmark. Oh,
Oh yeah, the emulator doesn't work for this. Look, it locked me out of it.
Wow.
That's so sad.
That is sad.
Well,
Well,
we tried.
I'll have
Do we go
play
to the
more with
future
this
now?
and fix it. Yeah, let's go to the future instead.
We have
quit
to go to the
sharing.
future. Back to the future.
Yeah.
This
we
and
do.
Fez, which
That
I
one I
also
know.
really supported, are games that just didn't work, and so I'm beginning. If another one happens, then I'm gonna begin to think it's a me problem.
okay. So
Alright.
you're pulling me over. Let me pull up my volume.
Yep. And
I had
you,
this
can you
down.
brighten the view of what we're seeing? Because that's
Yeah,
very dark
it
relative
went
to
to
the.
sleep.
Oh, okay, okay, perfect.
It went to sleep. Let me get it in
There,
full
yeah,
screen,
it's looking
and
great
then
now.
it went to sleep. And then
Okay,
this is
so
gonna
when
go.
did this one come out? This year?
2021.
2021?
Okay, so
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got slightly more pixels. This is on the
Thank you.
Switch. This is a game that was a file that was shared by me and Ben and Amelia. So it's kind of all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a beach level.
Okay.
I will say that this one actually works really well in handheld mode because you can just kind of hold it around like you're
Gyroscope it. Yeah.
Yeah, like it works with the forest. We're going to do the river
And
at some
stream
point.
friends, in case you just missed it, we're cropping a Discord view, so it looks good but not perfect on here.
Okay, so we're going to go to this beach. And most of them have variants, and you'll see that there's research levels.
Hey, Sarah,
This
can you
currently-
turn up your volume on the capture card controls?
Yeah.
Yeah, please do that.
Is that enough?
That's perfect.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
So
we're gonna
here's
start with the
beach
day.
the equivalent of what we just did on the Nintendo 64.
I apologize. The controls are going to be really jerky because trying to whip around fast enough when you can't just do the gyroscope is kind of awkward. So I apologize. It's not going to be nice and smooth like the N64. So we're researchers. We're researching.
We've got our like ethno camera.
Yes. In my little pod.
But this
I
is not
remember
a
taking-
straight up remake. This is essentially a sequel.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's not. Yeah,
So I have
but there is a
three
Lapras.
micro.
I do
Oh,
like that it
is it
tells you what you're looking at right away now. You don't have to know.
Yep. I have a
Although
little.
not only if you've taken the picture before though,
Yes, true.
and then you
So those
can go
two guys are
back, and then
punching
he's like,
each other.
"That's what that is." Professor Oak and his like queer-coded other people there.
You did if I throw it at you?
Throw things, show them what
Yeah.
things have. Executor every
Oh,
time.
now he's so happy. He's eating it.
Aw.
So my
That
goals
one looks
here,
like
I
a
want to have the
It's a
Pokemon
palm
looking
tree,
at
but
me.
it's walking.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. Yeah,
Why is it Executor then?
because
That doesn't-
those are
because
eggs,
the
not
first
coconuts.
stage
Those are
Executor.
eggs and not like
How do they
coconuts.
turn into? Okay. We're giving Pikachu an apple.
Okay,
Okay.
so I know that if I do this, they'll dance. If I
Can we
play
talk
my
about the
flute, these
differences
guys-
though between this beach theme and the beach theme? Well, after we get past
This is much more laid back.
Blossom's little. No, it's not. This is like
Bell
has the
Blossom because they're
epic
a blossom
orchestra.
and they're a bell. I get it.
this has none of the reggae. Like,
There's variants. That one's a specific pattern.
Is that okay? The pavilion. See, this is telling you as you do it,
this is just like.
Because
so I don't have to
like
make
an
awkward
addict.
guesses and get them wrong.
That's right.
You didn't do that. Do you dance if I play the flute?
Hukumuku?
Yeah, Pukumuku.
Yes.
That's a fun name.
This one is less immediately
there's
melodic
something-
for sure.
Oh, let's look at this Machamp. Let's see if we can get
I don't
Machamp to
know.
turn around.
I don't know if I agree that it's less melodic or more ambient.
We're not getting a ton of the music realized through Sarah's capture card.
What am I getting then? Because I can hear it. Are we hearing
You
different
want me
things
to
from the
turn
chat?
up?
Stream might
I
not
can
be.
turn up.
Oh.
Also,
That would be
welcome to
very
games.
funny if like we are hearing a different sound.
First time
than
chat,
they are
Julian
actually.
disagrees.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tweet Games, welcome. Well, I looked and I'm in like an aggressive mode because usually first time chat is like spam.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we can.
like-
Sarah, you might have to go back to your capture card settings and crank it
Yeah, it's really loud.
because
It's
it's
low.
very quiet.
Tweet
Wow,
Games,
it
I
is
apologize. You were just
not
like
having that
all
issue.
not actually hearing the music. Okay, on your own play.
Let me see if
Oh,
I
okay.
pull this up. Or no, if I pull this up, does that change it for you guys?
It was really loud for me no matter what, so I'm not one to ask. Like I had mine like less than 25%.
Wait, really?
Ryan, is that any louder for you?
Now I only hear static because it's paused.
Really? How am I the
Yeah,
only
I've
one
got to
that's hearing
crank
this
my
properly?
Discord to hear it.
That is wild. I'm hearing it like totally normally.
Yeah.
I cranked Discord and I can hear it, but it's
I
still
have
low
this up.
for me.
As high as I can get it in the capture card. Is
Yeah, I'm hearing, like,
it coming
steel
through at all
drum.
now?
A little bit. Let me make sure. Hold on a second. I know what's probably happening with it. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Yup.
That's restraining the rescue.
It's a Discord setting on my end. We can hear it just great.
Okay, cool.
Everyone was hearing it as captured by my microphone through my speakers rather
Oh.
than.
Oh no.
Careful, Ryan.
That makes
We're
a lot
good
more
now.
sense now, because I never heard any static.
Sorry, everybody. It wouldn't be our stream if we didn't have a tech issue.
We
right?
all had different takes on it, and I was like, wow, everyone thinks of
I
this
have
different.
to
Okay, now
mess
we can
up
hear the
so
melody.
I can teach this. Yes.
Some of them get mad if you hit them with fruit.
I think the melodicity of the N64 version 2 was just also shorter loops
Yeah.
Yeah.
as well. But
Lappers, will you eat the fruit?
definitely agree with that. I wish we could have played more of the N64 version to get more tracks. Obviously, we couldn't.
We can
There's
bring
a
up.
portal on the Lapras.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God! Like Squirtles on top of things, including on
Oh
top
my
of
gosh. We
Squirtles.
should play like old school Sims. I have all of them, and I have like actual old computers that I bet there's a way we could like capture card out. Because I played a crap ton of Sims back in the day.
Hmm.
I don't
I
have
used to play
three.
SimCity 2000. Not
Oh my
Sim-
God! I still can hum the SimCity 2000 menu music at
Oh, yeah.
will.
Yeah, there
at
are a
my
lot
own will.
of there are a lot of Sim soundtracks that went very hard. Yeah, I'm gonna look into
Shout out
doing
to
that in a
Alolan
future week.
Raichu, the best addition to those games. That and Alolan Vulpix.
Is Raichu related to Pikachu? Is that like
Oh,
Yes.
Alolan Vulpix
If
is
you,
so
if you
cute.
touch Pikachu to a Thunderstone, it will evolve into Raichu. There's a whole anime arc about how Ash's Pikachu does not want to evolve.
well, because he's so cute? And then the branding would be all messed up.
Okay, now I cranked it on my side. I gotta adjust it because I can't hear you guys
Yeah,
well
you can
enough.
turn it down on your side a little bit now that the problem is fixed if you need to. That's easy.
Okay. I'm fine now. I just
kinda
had
miss that
my
it was just
own-
like a rail, like a literal rail shooter.
So it's gotten really complicated now. So we're gonna see that
What was it?
I've taken 60 photos.
Yep,
I usually use all of mine. Memory is cheap. I photographed 13 different Pokemon, and then these will be added to my Pokédex and we will have to, for each Pokemon, there are 4 different star levels, which are levels
yes.
of interest, and then they will be graded, and I disagree with some of this rating.
Yes.
Please know that I disagree as a photographer. So I can either do it
Well,
auto,
if
or I can
centering
do...
is like a part of the rating, then I already disagree because like what about rule of thirds? Like
Exactly.
that is not good composition.
Exactly.
Just
They're like,
because
it's
in the
balanced
middle.
if it's in the middle, and I'm like, you're wrong. So you'll see that there are 4 stars up here, and it will categorize them by behavior. So all of mine are 1 star, so I'm gonna pick this one. It's solid. We have some 2 stars. I'm not gonna beat my existing one because that one's pretty good. We'll do that. But I got a new. I'll just do auto for all of them, and then I got a new Blastoise. Apparently, this is the first time I've gotten a 1-star Blastoise.
We should. We'll make all four of us or whoever else joins us that week.
A Sims house.
Yeah, like we're like living like Big Brother style, like we're living in the same house.
Yes. And we'll have our.
And we'll have all the like tackiest
modded.
original
I have to share
game
a
like
quick
stuff
story
in it
about
with
The
the
Sims
rosebud.
as we process these photos for Pokemon Snap here. That as soon as The Sims 2 came out, one of my fraternity brothers did this, and he put himself and his then girlfriend into The Sims 2, and the girlfriend left him, took all his money,
Started dating someone else.
right, ended up dating somebody else, and he ended up in a trailer park with no college degree, and like he was like, okay, I don't like this game, we're gonna quit.
Wow.
How accurate.
Julianne, I love that you have a whole like waiting music day. I kind of want to see what you do
Yeah,
for
I
it.
kind of want to unpack waiting music.
Could we
Yeah.
maybe do that sometime?
Well, that
Yeah.
would be
We
great.
can do it now, but
Well, yeah, I mean, but like music like this,
yeah.
while you're doing a processing, any sort of menus,
Or, like-
pauses.
Do you count like in RPGs when you're like leveling up and choosing bonuses or like
Yes, exactly that. That's like
Yeah.
a genre, and it often sounds similar to this.
like in Sea of Stars? I've been
Yes.
playing a lot of that lately.
And perhaps on the syllabus. It can be Muzak. I mean, Muzak is also
there's a good
used derogatorily.
I don't know like if you assign readings or if it's mostly like analysis out of actual gameplay that you're doing, but like there's a crap ton of readings and research on music, and like functional music I think is the non-branded term for it.
Yes.
Um,
And like
So here you see, this is my Pokédex.
No,
I
not
have
necessarily
a 1-star
derogatory.
Blastoise, a 2-star Blastoise,
Okay.
but I haven't gotten his 3rd and 4th actions. So these are like him doing something. 2 is usually if they're eating, that counts as a 2-star, and then you're rated for each of those independently. So like this is a 2-star of Raichu eating. But all of his advice is garbage. It's like if you center it, it will be more balanced.
Mm,
Yeah, that doesn't work for me. Like
no.
you should see me
Center
trying
is
to
a
get
better
like
scientific picture, sure.
in like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you know, filling out your whatever it's called, filling out the whole thing, the like Hyrule Compendium or whatever.
Yeah.
I will like replace my images so many times until I get them like, you know, really really cinematic and just how I want them, and I'm very picky about it. I wouldn't let the game tell me it's a good photo or not.
So they've added a lot more options for all of these. So you'll see that they have levels, like level 1, level 2, level 3. So let's go do the river one because it has clarinet in it, and we'll do it at level 1 and then we'll do it at level 3.
Okay.
And you can see how many different things there are. And
It
some of
is
them are
worth
like
pointing
game.
out that we can talk about like what an actually good photograph aesthetically looks like all we want. We are bound by the rules at some point if we want a high score, right? You have to accept
Yes,
the rules.
which is. Oh, this isn't a good one to do that with because I haven't. 100%.
So I continue to argue that because most of our preferences for the aesthetics of photography differ from the way these are graded, I do understand this not as a photography game, but as a shoot 'em up, like in an arcade sense.
You're gonna ask me which level I want?
Okay, add this to Zotero. I keep a Zotero folder for my classes for the readings that I assign, but I also add like other readings in there, like maybe other things. I used to not do that. I don't know why I've never done that before. It was only this year that I started like being like, I'm gonna organize all my readings, because all my readings are in Zotero anyway, the things that I read.
Well, and I used to use Evernote.
Rip.
And so I never got into any of the bibliography
Luxray looks
ones
pissed
because I
full of
already
shit.
had like so much
I don't know what I
stuff in
did to
it.
him, but he's just there. and
Luxray
angry.
is like really giving you a look there.
Yeah.
That is some sass.
Ask me which level it would. Oh! Oh!
I'll get to cheer about this next.
Chimchar, right?
I'll get to cheer about this soon, but I deleted my Evernote today, Julianne.
Today?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I finally did it. I can skip off into the sunset. I've been transferring everything into Notion so that I can dump Evernote because I was sick of Evernote like every single time being like you have to pay, and making it like actively harder to use. So
Yeah, it was, because I used to use
it was
Evernote
getting to
back
be
in
a
the
lot.
day as well. And it was like better. I don't know. It kept changing slightly, and then it was like even more money, and then like
And,
less
that's
free.
not worth it to me.
It's just not worth it. When there's a lot of free stuff that is better at this point.
Yeah, so I got everything transferred, and I just like double checked it right before stream, and I deleted my account, and I was like, man, I think I got that thing in like 2009. It's been a while.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I
had
think.
ancient stuff on it.
That was like the Evernote era.
Yeah.
So I have a question here. I talk a lot about like game music as tied to geography, and you get a little bit of that in the beach track here, right? But I think you get less of it here. Like, is this a cave? Is this a volcano? Is this a fire area? What are we hearing right now?
None of those things.
I agree.
Yeah. The music is very.
We're hearing cheerful adventuring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like
that's
a dark ride.
like the bubble, like Jurassic World is supposed to be. I'm in that bubble. Does this feel like it should be a fight between a Charizard and a Tyranitar? Is it that epic? No,
It
not
reminds
really.
me a lot of Mario Odyssey, honestly. In that kind of like, again, cheerful adventuring mode. In some of
Like-
those
like-
tracks.
Upbeat epic, but not hugely epic. But like, yes, are going off on it beginnings. And I do think theme parks
Slugma?
people,
Is that really what that's called?
Yes, slug.
they
Oh, good.
like the names just get even. Like I feel like we peaked at Executor.
I feel like
And then
the Pokemon in terms of being original creations with cool names and cool everything. I'm gonna be a hater. It peaked in Pokemon Gold, Silver.
peaked in Pokemon Red, Blue. I'm done after that. Mostly because I didn't play much after that. Except like this Pokemon Snap is where I'm like, oh, these are new Pokemon. These are not the OGs. Because I did watch the show.
Oh,
Oh.
poor guy.
Some of them are just so cute, and like you don't want to get the good picture because you're just destroying their habitat. Let's talk about extraction and like not maps, but
Kate's not even here.
oh yeah, maybe. Well, I'm summoning her.
This is
Like,
the game to talk about that sort of thing with.
Oh my God, this is the game she needs to talk
Let's
about.
talk about Sonic Ecology,
Where is she?
right?
And in like a very Earth conservationist sense, as we were talking recently about like the different forms of ecology, whether that's like perceptual or like ecology as we understand it, as the environment we live in. But yeah, I have to remember how this game kind of. I feel like they make some kinds of commentary on like being researchers going out and like doing things without IRB approval because they're
Without IRB approval.
I swear I really don't think they talk about that specifically, but I feel like, you know, compared to the first game. Maybe I'm just imagining this. I don't know. I like binge played this in 2021, and then did like put it down and hadn't picked it up in a few years. But now I really want to go back.
I got this thinking the boys would like it, and they do not.
Why?
What's it? Why?
Not scary enough for Oliver, and not enough to do in terms of freedom of movement and agency for Owen. He doesn't like being on rails.
I don't love rails. I can't think of a game I've played that is entirely on rails. So I don't know that that's my vibe either.
I like that that's your 4-star, because I don't think it's a great picture.
What, my Charizard?
Yeah.
I think
the
we've
star
talked about.
The star there is action. So the idea is that you're trying to get a Pokédex. It shows a great deal of action. And
Yes.
sometimes it's kind of arbitrary about which Pokemon it decides is the subject. And it might be like, oh, this is a cool one on this one, but it thinks it's another one.
Yep.
Or it doesn't seem Pokemon.
I like the noodly piano bits in here as we're waiting. Like, we're just vamping, right? Like, this is musical theater. We're vamping until the next thing.
I feel like it's gonna stop and say, your call is important to us. Like in the middle of it.
Yes. I can believe
But I
that.
want to point out, unlike traditional forms of like Muzak, this is not library music. This is custom composed for this title. And it's very rare in video games. I do know that library music exists because I buy some of those packs as demos for students of what is possible in the space. But
Probably no more of those than I don't know that I'd recognize them a lot of the time.
it is very rare for library music to be in any project that has a real budget.
Yeah.
Where like once you get past only available on itch.io as student work, you're not seeing it.
And even like low budget one person indie games that are good. Well, no, Braid has library music.
It does?
Yeah. And that's all I'll say on that. Let me look that up again. But I'm pretty sure he just got stock music from like.
Yeah, Frank, isn't that nice that all of your pictures are actually in focus and good? Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure, Sarah. Do you do much wildlife photography, Sarah, or are you mostly portraits and landscaping?
Mostly children are the wildest things.
That's hard to catch.
Some landscape stuff, but I've not I don't do like bird photography because I never am in a situation where it's quiet enough that a bird could rest peacefully at any point near my family.
Right.
I mean, you guys have heard my kids.
Yep.
Okay,
They're
it's
not-
licensed, but not created originally for the game. It's just. So it's not free, but it was licensed on original music.
Yes.
I think Reale gave a really good paper about library music, right? That was like a bunch of years ago.
There was a music in the moving image keynote about it too. This is now max level, so yeah, you have to do so many new points. Like you have to improve your score, and that's how you level up the level. And then every time you level up the level, more Pokemon show up, more things. So it makes you do it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And then you can save any of your favorite if you had funny ones. So Amelia likes to post them. So let's do a mission while we talk about library music. Let's have someone send us on a quest.
Very quickly, one of the reasons I compare this to Star Fox 64 a lot is because if you think of this as a linear experience to be beaten, like a lot of traditional video games, frankly, you're in for a boring experience. You are meant to do this over and over and over again. The joy in this is finding all of the possibilities in the space, not simply completing the stage successfully.
Indeed.
There's a term for this, and I cannot come up with it right now. But I saw it in preparing my game history syllabus so I could be a good teacher in 9 weeks. About sandbox play versus directed play, but there's Latin terms for this.
You mean like
Ludic play is the one with
Not
the
Ludus
rules.
versus.
It's paidetic, right?
yeah, it wasn't ludic pietic.
It is ludic
Paidetic?
paidetic.
Oh, it
Paidetic
is,
the word I
okay.
couldn't
But then
come up
also the other two. Because there's like the like four corner whatever.
You
I
mean,
love
Roger Kellaway. I don't know how he says it.
Kiowa. I say
I've never
Kiowa.
heard it said out loud. Now that I think about it.
When I say it out loud, I
Oh,
say Kiowa. So
Is
just
it-
take that.
That's Aegon, Alia.
Yeah, it's a Targaryen. Yes, and
Mimicry?
like what? Epoxy or whatever.
Foxy.
Mimicry. No, don't do the thing. Don't do it. No. Is
What
this on
is-
camera?
Yeah, this is on camera. What's happening
No,
over
did
there?
You see the cork come out of the thing at me? No, you didn't. Hopefully. Sorry. So we have one of those. I got it in a Secret Santa or whatever, like a thing that like automatically removes the cork. It's like an
It
electric.
looked like a
Oh,
hairdryer
yeah.
because I
Those are
heard a
fun.
noise. Like,
Yeah, it was, and what it does is it then like you press a button and the cork like comes out and
Right.
falls back
Comes
out.
back out, and then you can.
But if you're looking at it head on, it looks disgusting. Like it looks like some, you're watching something else come out of something else. So.
Oh. Oh, really?
Great.
And so Neil will get the wine out, and then like an hour later, while I'm not suspecting.
That's really funny.
Anyway,
I have like an automatic wine opener, but it's not electric. It's just one that has like an interesting like lever mechanism. So it's like
So-
push and then pull and then it's out.
I'm gonna mercifully return us to Pokemon. I want to ask a question here about because I saw a Pokemon I was not expecting to see, and that is
Like
if
the
you were
buffalo
eagle-eyed
there.
just now, you saw Sarah grab a picture of a Shaman. And Shaman is one of those rare Pokemon like Mew that is not available to be caught in any Pokemon game. You can only get Shaman and Mew and Celebi and a couple others at events or through weird mechanisms. Like maybe you had to hook up your Game Boy Advance title to Pokemon Coliseum or something wild. They're not just, mythical as opposed to legendary Pokemon, right? They're not actually findable in any game. But it didn't, unless Sarah did something super high-tech and I don't know Pokemon Snap well, it didn't look like Sarah had to do a lot of technical wizardry to get Shaman on the screen here. So my question
think
is,
part of
how
that's
do we
because
talk
of the
about
level of it.
relative rarity of Pokemon versus in these games versus the other games?
Usually what has to happen in order to see the exciting Pokemon is you have to do the level several times. Because what will happen, like many times, because the first time you go through it, it will be very boring.
No, Dana,
Like,
they're
you will
not.
not see exciting. You will not
One's
see
a
exciting
genetic
Pokemon.
clone of the other made in a lab.
What? Nothing makes sense in these games. Sorry. Didn't mean to be so loud. I'm angry.
Also, there's like a whole movie dedicated to explaining that.
Yes.
Makes me angry. Like Mew would be like the base form and then it evolves into
No.
Mewtwo. That makes sense.
No.
Yeah,
it's
where is
missing
Mewtwo?
now.
This is like my whole thing about the Fast and the Furious movies, right? So you have Fast and the Furious, and then what's the second one? Too Fast, Too Furious. And then what do? Tokyo Drift? Why don't they
Yeah.
Why don't they just continue the
just
pattern? 3 Fast, 4
Yeah.
Furious, 4 Fast,
Because you're
4
a
Furious.
theorist and you like patterns, and theorists like patterns and pattern recognitions, and that's why you
That
just have to
franchise
deal
will-
That
with
is how I refer to
Defy
all
your
those movies, though, and
expectations.
it makes Joe really
Me too.
annoyed.
6 Fast, 6 Furious.
Yeah.
Buddies.
Oh,
Oh, the
cool.
Bratz. New instructor of sound design. Well, that's great.
Nice. Oh, I know I and probably a lot of my colleagues, we love to share and like what we're all doing in our different types of classes around video games and sound and
I do
Yeah.
a little
Stuff
bit
like
of sound
that, so-
design upon request for independent studies.
That's fun.
Yeah.
yeah, we all do something a little bit different, but often incorporate all kinds of stuff and all kinds of readings and all kinds of assignments and I love chatting with different sorts of instructors. So anyway,
So weird. not to be on
Feel
chat,
free
like,
to
following the
email
cat.
us.
Fast and Furious is pretty good.
I know Frank is joking, by the way, in the chat, but I'm
I'm
really
into it.
glad that you don't have
Freedom.
photography-related debuffs in these games. I would not appreciate that at all.
Oh my god.
Zombie.
Like fog. You gotta go home. You are only shooting raw. Your memory card failed.
Right.
You actually
raw
shot 3,000
dogging.
and I need to sort through them.
Oh.
The
Your
environment.
white balance was set to like daylight and you were shooting
I
inside.
forgot to take off the lens cap. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, when I was a kid,
That's
my mom made us do like the holding the Statue of Liberty thing in front of the Statue of Liberty for like forever. And then because it was, the 90s, she didn't have film in the camera and we had to do it all over again.
Oh.
Mortifying.
My arm's tired.
So, because that's one we've done a lot, it's leveled up. Look at how cute that Bidoof is. I'm gonna just have it auto select.
Bidoof.
And let's just use the
Those are
weird
so
modern.
One of the advantages
Bidoof.
of a game that is on rails, and keep in mind when we're not in the menus, right? This is a game on rails, is that the game controls the pace of the progress, and therefore the music can be scored to time. And that
With
is
the
a
exception that you
big
can
rarity
zoom your
in
thing a bit.
games.
You can zoom a little bit. Like you can make your car go faster, and sometimes that's the only way to see things is to fast forward through other parts.
Star Fox 64 gives you a little bit of speed control along those lines as well, but it's close enough
that you
that they can
it's
still effectively score to time.
Time things. So and even like stuff that isn't even really subtle parts of the music. If you're playing those levels over and over and over again, you really get a sense for like, oh, I'm over here. Like this is where this is gonna happen.
Yep.
You can almost predict not by visuals, but by the sound where
And
stuff's gonna come out.
I'm interested to see.
Attack
And
you.
so far, this game has not done this. If you go play Star Fox 64, and I do realize it's almost 30 years old now, it remains the gold standard in the genre. The best
Thank
I
you.
can't believe
on-rails
that
shooter ever made.
It's so good.
I'm actually, the current decompilation of Star Fox 64 is like 99.7% done, according to their GitHub. And I'm like, finish that last 0.3% so I can get this for Julianne on stream. Like,
Oh.
but if you play Star Fox 64, the point I'm driving at there is that that game clearly arrives to musical beats. at
Oh
certain
yeah.
times.
Oh yeah.
In a spectacular way. You feel like you're in a movie. And it's not just because of the interactivity of the thing, it is because of the way the music is scored in a filmic manner, compared to almost every other game ever made. This game is also on rails. I don't feel that it's doing that as much.
No.
And that's not a
even
criticism
though
of Pokemon Snap, I just want to point it out that they had the opportunity and
Yeah.
chose not to, which I think is interesting. But
And yeah, why do we think that is? Because I'm someone who has played this quite a lot, and you know, because sometimes it's like it's on stream, it's hard to tell. But like from my memory, I agree, it's quite of a different musical sense than a Star Fox. Wait, what happened?
It froze and it was like, I really love this picture of Dodrio's butt. I'm gonna upload it for everyone to see, and then it just froze, so I had to reboot it.
That's
Aw.
too bad. It did.
I didn't lose any progress. So let's go to one that we have. You were talking about the relative rarity of different Pokemon.
Dodrio's
Yeah.
booty was too bootylicious for you.
Yeah. Let's go to a level that we haven't done as much as, and there's much less going on. So, for example, this one we only have at research level 2. If we level it up to level 3, we will see more stuff. More like you can only there's a view somewhere, and in order to get that, you have to be up to a certain level to see that. Otherwise, it won't appear. So you have to have repeated it several times. And Julianne, there's clarinets in this one.
Thanks.
I was
You know me
checking
so
last
well.
night. I was like, where are we? Well, to be fair, clarinets are fabulous. And I was like, where should we go? And I was like, gotta come
The clarinet, please.
one of my few criticisms of this game is I miss synthy sounds and goofiness for this. I don't love all orchestra style instruments.
And that's an interesting thing because I feel similarly. Like I love this style of music in something like Odyssey and Skyward Sword and stuff like that. I believe. Oh, hell yeah, clarinet. Get it? Get it. But...
Anytime there's a clarinet.
Why is a gameplay like this, maybe, at least for two of us, wants something maybe different? Who wants for something different?
I feel like this is... Remember when they tried to make a Sonic character for the Sonic movie? And they, like, made his eyes, like, too real and it was weird? And it's like when you...
Oh, the teeth thing, right?
Yeah, it was like the teeth thing. And it's like something...
real.
Can't be that real, and like Pokemon doesn't need to be very realistic. Like we don't need that.
Do you feel like it's uncanny in the same way that Sonic was?
No,
or just like...
I don't think it's uncanny because like Arbok still looks like an Arbok. Like it's not that. It's just that it lacks some of like the distinctive flavor. Oh, I think we're gonna go down.
So this feels like generic, like genericized.
Yeah, it really feels super generic.
I wouldn't hear this piece and be like, oh, that's a Pokemon game or a Pokemon Snap.
Toucannon! That's a
that
good
makes
pod.
sense.
Toucannon.
Toucannon feels like a Dana name.
That's a good one.
That is. This is we could have toucans on a Stardew farm.
Yeah. I'd name it Toucannon.
Look how cute they are. God.
What's this one? Tropius. Is this tropical?
God,
got a
little
banana
I like his
tree.
banana chin.
banana goatee. I forgot about him. Or her.
We're gonna have to do the one that has Chandelure because Chandelure is like the stupidest Pokemon I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yes.
Look at it, cute little banana chin. So you'll see that there's some Pokemon here, but there's like whole swaths where there's like nothing happening.
Yeah.
Right, and once your research level gets higher,
level
more
2.
Pokemon will come out and like engage with you.
And they will do more interesting things. Scorbunny will do flips where he kicks fire in the air, and that's fun.
Oh. I feel like this is a game I would have really enjoyed if this had been something that was available when I was younger. I mean, even now, it's like I could probably chill to this for a little bit, but...
Yeah.
Amelia likes to play it. She reset her file to my dismay because I had been playing her file, which I found out last night. But she's like,
Psyduck.
she likes to
Classic.
play, and like you can post pictures online in like a Nintendo-y way where like there's no identifying information and people can just like it, and she derives a great deal of like validation, people liking her Pokemon photos.
Nice.
You know, which
Makes
are
sense.
not
I derive
identifiable
validation from
and-
people liking my Stardew farms.
I did that. I went online and I was like, I'm addicted to when random people upvote my Pokemon pictures. Like I'm becoming,
Yes.
I know they're all like 6 years old and I'm 35, but I forgot that part of the game. Oh my gosh. Oh, I should go back and, no, I shouldn't. No, I have
Miiverse
to teach
is no
video
longer
games.
existent, for what it's worth. Some of those features are probably no longer functional, which might be why it crashed for
It's
Sarah.
not a Miiverse. This is separate.
Okay.
Also, look at how cute these guys are all napping together.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's very sweet.
We do like that.
Rookie.
What is it? The not commensurate. What's the type of like when animals like help each other? There's words for that.
Symbiotic?
They're symbiotic.
Yeah.
That's one of them. There's like another one. Of course Frank would know. Thank you. Not. I was close with commensurate.
Did I enjoy myself? So let's go look at some weird. So one of the other weird things about this one that I'm not going to show you because I don't remember how the boss fights work is that there are kind of boss fights in this game.
That is weird.
It's super weird. So,
Boss fight.
okay.
That is
so
very
let's
strange.
check out our
Boss
shots. See if we got anything good.
Need
That
validation wherever you can get it. I got really good validation last week from Sarah, actually.
What are friends for? You didn't need it, but it still feels good.
It was really good.
Aw.
Felt good about myself.
Yay.
Good.
Sarah said she was proud of me.
I am
We are
proud of you.
Well, thank you.
You are doing so many
Need it.
awesome things and hard things and just being awesome.
So here's a pun for Dana, who's new to Pokemon. Dana, why is that Pokemon called Arbok?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, it evolves from Ekans, if that helps.
Yeah,
It evolves from what?
from Ekans.
Ekans.
EKANS is the first one, and ARBOK I'm spelling it for a reason. It's the second one, Arbok.
I'm not
Go
sure.
back to it. Go
Yeah.
back to what it is.
Sarah, go to the photo of the Arbok, please.
It'll pop up in just a second.
Okay.
I'll just pop through here real fast. I can't go backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice work.
Oh, look at that. That's a much better photo. Go me. I got diamonds.
Metapod.
Magikarp.
It looks like it's mewing.
Okay, so here's Arbok. Here are 2 views of Arbok.
Okay.
It sends a chill down my spine.
This actually isn't a pun, by the way. That was misleading.
Yeah, I don't know what you're getting at, Ryan.
It's a wordplay. It's wordplay that's not a pun.
Yeah.
So maybe that helps.
Is
Maybe
it
that helps.
Cobra backwards?
It is, yes.
Yay!
Cobra backwards.
Okay,
and
so it's like in
Ekans
Troll
is...
2, and he's like, Nilbog,
Yep,
that's
and it evolves from
backwards.
Ekans,
Yes.
which is snake backwards. But it was so funny in the anime to watch Jesse's Pokemon Ekans go Ekans.
Oh yeah. Oh, the show. Oh. The
P.S.
show.
In case anybody had Pokemon as a part of their childhood and has not heard the news, the voice actress for Misty and Jessie passed away about a week and a half ago
Sadness.
of cancer early.
Did you see the illustration that they did, like officially to
Yes.
commemorate her? It was very, very sweet. Yeah.
So we just earned like almost 5,000 points towards leveling it up, and at level 3, more interesting things will happen. But I'm not going to keep doing this on a loop, which is what I did in 2021.
I am going to actually ask a question I had asked before for a different game that I don't remember because it came up. This is back to the ecology stuff.
Okay.
Do we think that some games are, okay, I don't know, maybe this is like extreme, like training us to like go along with like a kind of almost colonialist extractive mindset, because there's so many games in which you are exploring,
Yes.
learning the space, taking over, taking resources, and that's just like a thing you
Yes.
do. That's just like
Yes.
a, yeah.
100%.
I have
Absolutely.
read that chapter from Kate.
And not just
Oh,
the
okay.
command and
I have-
conquer
But I
Tiberium extraction where it's literal resource extraction.
Yeah.
But have all of you played Nuts?
Good luck.
No.
No.
Nope.
No.
It's
What's
this
next?
game where you play as a slightly underfunded PhD
Oh gosh, that's too
student
real.
working as a photographer out in the field for somebody studying squirrels. And you discover that the squirrels have started to hoard gasoline cans.
Ah.
Because they're gonna get rid of the humans who are there, including you. It's like it turns into a horror game.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
It's
I will have to
excellent.
look that up too.
We gave it an Indicate Award for Best Sound Design or Best Music or something a couple years ago, but it crossed the desk back when it was just me and Laura as
Nice.
the 2 Indicate judges. Thankfully now, Indicate has a much expanded and awesome team headed up by one of our own here. Don't know if Elizabeth is around in the chat today, but we could not have had a better person to pass that particular torch to. Both Laura and I were absolutely delighted that she said yes to us.
That's awesome.
Yay.
This is so awesome.
Folks, I'm
Wish
going to
we
peace
were
out and
more
go to
all-
bed. I got to turn in.
All right.
Well,
We'll see you all.
Have
Bye,
fun,
Karen.
Karen. Thanks for turning out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Oh,
now
it
I'm in.
hearted. How did it do that? It like
Yeah. It like floofed hearts everywhere.
hearts came
Yeah.
out of what? Karen's magic.
That was funny.
Good night, folks.
Good night, Karen.
I'm so impressed. I have no idea how Karen did that.
That was
Is that like a
excellent.
thing I can turn on in Skype?
I don't
I've-
know. I was also impressed
I'm
by it,
sure.
actually.
And she didn't explain. She just like
She just
was
like, okay, bye.
sneaky. Yeah, amazing. So good.
make him mad enough, he'll do a thing.
You gotta have a good exit plan from a conversation. I think Karen pulled it off with some aplomb just now.
I still like the one from Game Sound Con last year. I wasn't even there for it. I just liked the story so much.
Yes. I'm not going to retell it right now, but if anyone is coming to Game Sound Con, find either me or Kristen Negus and ask about somebody's best exit from a conversation of all time at Game Sound Con. We'll tell you.
It was funny.
Oh no, I'm gonna run out of pictures.
Now, does it automatically just warp you to the end if you do that?
It just like fast forwards. And I wanted to get to Chandelure so you could see the most ridiculous Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
It is clearly like they've jumped the shark with this one Pokemon.
Where is it? Where are you? It's supposed to be around here. There's usually one around here. Where is it?
It's an ugly Pokemon. I'm sorry, I don't like it.
Wow.
It's
Jen, you should-
terrible.
You and Jordan should come on and we should play and you can talk the article. Because obviously I've brought this up
please.
twice,
We've never done Pikmin.
and I have not thought about it in a journal-sized way. So like, you gotta.
I would love to hear a high quality take on Pikmin.
Yeah.
high quality. Not a...
We'd love to have you both on. That's okay to start laughing.
Have you seen the
Have
stream?
you watched us stream?
My take on Pikmin is that there are very few games more intimidating to play than the first Pikmin title.
I've played no Pikmin, so I'm gonna take y'all's word.
Yeah,
How
no,
many
Anthony
flutes are
Dennis
we
Music
talking?
is talking about a photo where she was like, oh yeah, I just got these, and it's like 75 flutes.
Wrap it up.
Oh.
Oh,
I'd take a flute. I don't know how to play the flute, but I'd take one.
Oh, are we talking about the wolf one? Like the wolf flute?
Good to see you.
I lied. I can take
You
72 photos
can't,
on my
you
S.
can't take people's stuff. What are we doing here?
What is happening?
Ryan, did you ever get your cider?
No, I'm whiskey only.
What?
We were all running late, so Addie offered to put the kids to bed, and I don't want to drink the cider without, like, consulting her first. Because it's the last of it, and she was the one who
yeah.
picked up the growler.
I see.
Oh yeah,
And
that would be a jerk
A
move.
pro tip to
Good
husbands who want
wife
to
guy.
keep happy wives around, don't drink their alcohol. And yes, alcohol is possessions.
I just have mine's non-alcoholic. I just have like a jug of cider in the fridge, and then I heated some up.
Oh no, we had like a growler of nice cider from the nice place.
Yeah, that is different. That's a different beast.
If this was like grocery store apple cider, it wouldn't be a question. I could
Yeah.
just do that.
This
But
is grocery
I
store.
can't
Yeah, no.
polish off an alcohol that she went and got. That's not how
Yeah.
the household functions.
That would be a super dick move. We had I'm trying to remember which Belgian it was. It was a oh, we took a picture of an ancient ruin. That one too. Fine, we'll take one. We Chimay. We split a bomber of Chimay with dinner. It was really good. I needed it
Nice.
today. Dinner was pancakes. The Chimay went very well with pancakes.
What doesn't go with pancakes?
So how much, for those two of you who have played more of this than the rest of us, how much musical variation is there across this soundtrack?
It's extremely forgettable.
Addie is drinking the growler of cider off camera. You can't see her. but-
I love Addie.
Great.
I stan Addie.
It's a good move.
Who doesn't?
Would you dump some of that into this whiskey? Yeah.
Oh, that would be so good.
Hi, Addie. You're the best.
Hi, Addie.
Love you.
Hi,
You're the best.
I love you, Addie.
Mm. Yes, mixing the cider and the whiskey is a very good idea.
Yeah.
I'll take a little more. Yeah.
Okay, so a delicious thing that we had in France. Is anyone familiar with Calvados?
No.
Yes.
No, and my French is terrible.
It's an apple brandy that is made from apples that grow in in northern France. But it's an apple brandy, and it is so good. And if you ever come down and visit me, we brought a bottle back, and I will share it with you. This is really good.
Mm. That's a pretty good incentive. You better watch out.
We came to you last time. It's your turn.
I agree. Yeah, we should.
That'd be so much fun.
Halloween
But yeah,
is
the
on
music-
a Thursday, and it is the day we all fly home from Game Sound Con. I'm not super pumped about that. But it is what it is.
I thought Game Sound Con was like last year was like mid-October, right? Or am I making that up?
It was a couple weeks earlier, yeah.
I get a new high score on that level.
Well done. I'm sure that's just
Thank you.
negotiated years in advance based on what the hotel will give Brian for rates in the month of October, right? Like, I'm sure that that's chosen for logistics and money reasons, not because, like, oh, Halloween's cool, we should do professional work on Halloween. No, that's not the way that
Well,
works.
the conference isn't on Thursday.
Right.
I think there was an AMS that involved flying on Halloween, and I was all excited because it's like Southwest Airlines, there was an asterisk in their menu that was like, you get a free beer on Halloween, and they like never came around and asked, and I was so disappointed.
That is really
Let's
annoying.
see if the
Oh my
ice
God.
sounds icy.
So,
Oh yeah.
Jim in the
yeah,
chat,
it
you
does.
should
We can do
come
some citations
to,
here to the
Game
Common
Sound
Cold.
Con. And let me see if it is still available. Because I don't know. Let me see. It may have passed already.
You should just fly from Lax to
No, it's
you know,
not passed.
Burbank. It's faster than driving.
Jen, the deadline is tomorrow. So this would be a bit of a scramble,
Whoa.
but it's still possible. The Game Audio Diversity Alliance offers scholarships for people attending GDC.
You mean Game Sound Con?
Oh, sorry, yes, I do mean Game Sound Con.
I
And
filled out my application on Sunday.
They also give scholarships for GDC, but Game Sound Con is the relevant one right now. And the application is not long. You could knock this out by tomorrow.
And I know
And
you're on
frankly,
the quarter
I think-
system, right? So
Not that it's my place to tell you what to do, but
school hasn't started yet.
this is good. Like, it's worth your time to do this thing.
You should do it.
And mostly that
I-
is me not dispensing useful advice to you. It is me being greedy because I want to see you.
yeah.
Hi.
Is that Josephine? Hi, Josephine.
Hi, Josephine.
Saying hi, Josephine. Here, you can hear them say hi.
Hi.
Oh, no, he's
Look at that guy's butt.
You want to say hello?
Oh, are we allowed to say?
Oh, I can't aim part of. Hi.
Oh. What's happening?
What's happening, Josephine? What have you been doing?
I was doing from Danny and I watched Mama on you.
You were watching Mama on the TV?
Yes.
Aww.
That's
Aw.
Okay,
Your
good.
mama is a super cool
Love you.
person.
Night night. Love you.
Yes, that's true. If you drive up to
Oh,
Burbank and
she's
say
so
hi, we
cute.
will cover you at Portos for sure.
Okay, how icy does this sound, by the way? Because to my ears.
Oh, I forgot to listen.
Too much acoustic bass, but yes to the crystally sounds.
We love
Yeah,
metallic
but-
percussion. The number one thing, according to
Megan
Living Good
Good.
Williams.
Living
And Williams.
Bass is
Yeah,
Gotta
very.
put her
Williams.
in there.
The bass is. It's like deceptive.
The bass and acoustic guitar
like-
feel too warm to me for ice music.
It's like forest.
Yes.
It's because I'm in
And
an
actually, I was
in a climate
just actually
controlled
thinking of the Lake Macalania forest, and I was thinking of like the trope of like acoustic guitar warm music with like sexy time getting it on music, because of course what happens in Lake Macalania in Final Fantasy X, right? That's where the sex scene is.
Oh, it's a kissing scene. It's a kissing scene.
No, I'm
Yes.
sorry, they bang.
It fades out. But like
No, it
that's-
does not fade out.
it's
There's a
lot.
whole Japanese
Making
pop
out.
song about banging. They bang. I'm sorry.
Suteki
Did
dane?
we have the discussion on when we did Tears of the Kingdom about whether Zelda and Link do after he catches her?
That is much more open to interpretation.
They're
I
children.
think we debated it. I'm pretty sure we debated
But
it.
It is not up for debate. Titus and Yuna get it on. I'm sorry.
Isn't Titus like not real though?
He's real enough.
Titus and Yuna.
Okay,
is-
here's
it is
Alolan
Yuna,
Vulpix.
right?
Look at how cute Alolan
No.
Vulpix is though.
It's Titus and Yuna, don't worry. I just wanted to troll for 1 second. But I really can't, because Titus just hurts me.
Titus is terrible. I'm sorry. I know that's the correct pronunciation. And with apologies to all of my friends who speak Japanese well, I hate Titus. I'm sorry, it's Titus
It's
in the US.
incorrect.
We
The
gotta
author is dead.
we gotta translate
Oh yeah,
that.
but Aerith is fine.
Yeah, Aerith is fine. That doesn't bother me at all.
Eris, it's Eris to me too. I'm
Thank you.
all the way. No nuance over here.
That's not
Yeah,
nearly as bad
Yeah,
as Titus.
so we
I'm
we
sorry.
localize
Titus
one
is
but
very
not
bad.
the other because reasons.
No, we localize the language, but not the pronunciation. Or sorry, the other way around, right? Like,
We translated rather than transliterated.
yeah.
Look at how cute Alolan Vulpix is. Oh, I was gonna take another picture.
Alolan Vulpix is an S tier Pokemon. Yes.
I think we have an Alolan Vulpix stuffy somewhere in Amelia's room. It's
Nice.
extremely cute. Alolan Ninetales is nice, but Alolan Vulpix is super cute. Big fan.
Good to see you.
Ooh, I have a new glaze. I love new. Oh, staring.
Nice.
This one's very cute also.
I like the idea, by the way, of the normal type Pokemon being useful and good here. The Furret, right? That's not a good Pokemon in the RPG.
So cute.
But it's adorable and it's very photogenic, right? So, like, it has value here.
It's flowers.
That it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
have
not
in the
true.
RPG.
Because we're not fighting with them. Yeah,
Right.
that's interesting. Also, we got our flat 6, flat 7, 1. This feels like victory music because of that, maybe. Like post fanfare,
Yeah.
tallying up because you won.
You're getting your resources. Like, what did you get? Well, you stole that dude's like.
Right.
Holy
shit.
So, like 30 GP.
One
and
of my
what
favorite
else?
things to think about that I have not written about and not even thought about writing about is after the opening, like, 2-measure Final Fantasy victory fanfare when you end combat, what happens after that fanfare cadences is different in almost every Final Fantasy game. And it's most different in 7, where it does this weird, off-rhythm, almost atonal, out-of-key thing compared to the fanfare itself. Yeah, that.
Well, it goes da 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 bum ba ba, and then it like, yeah, it goes
Then
a
it
little
does all
minor
that stuff
than
you just did. You think I'm dumb enough to try and do that? No.
That's how Aetherius does it. That's the
Okay,
label.
aesthetically, which picture do you think is better here? I'm going to say, in terms of exposure, the one on the left is better.
They
and
don't
in
care
terms
about
of
light
size.
in this game.
I like that you caught the Piplups with it, for what it's worth.
Well, I did get 72 extra points for that.
They do get the bonus extra Pokemon
I
points,
did get the bonus,
which I
but
like.
also I would like to call attention to the fact that when I took the picture of Charizard attacking a Tyrantrum, I did not get background points for it having like a fucking lava flow, which is a very epic battle site. That was garbage.
Yeah, that is
Just
garbage.
wanted to throw that.
I actually
Yeah,
think
so
the
it- you know-
glacier on the right is ever so slightly better as a background, but the game did not think so. I agree the exposure time, like, just makes the left photo better.
Well, yeah, because
they
it has
don't
more.
give any light evaluation.
So this is
in this
all
game, I don't think.
underexposed, right? This is all underexposed. This is
Yeah.
the more properly exposed one. We're seeing a 3/4 view here. We've got
Yep.
motion, but this one scores higher. And the penguins are cute, so we'll keep that one.
Yeah, I also think you should get, like, an action score for the one on the left that lost, if you will. But
Well,
that's
Are you
okay.
allowed-
if stuff
Yeah.
happening, it will rate you on which part of the action is desirable. So, for example, if you can catch a Pokemon attacking, they're depending on how close you get to the ideal moment in the mind of the game, which may not be the coolest looking moment, but like the ideal moment, you will score better or worse on the under pose.
Nice work.
And sometimes it's very frustrating because you pick the one that you think is the most interesting pose, and it's like, well, that's not the moment they were looking for.
Yeah.
Nice
Aren't you allowed to keep a photo that maybe didn't score as high, but the high score will retain?
Yes, you absolutely can. The one in your Pokédex doesn't have to be your high score one. I usually do it, but not always. Like if I think it's better, I keep that. Like no matter what, I'm
More attractive. Yeah.
This one is slightly closer, and so it edges it out.
Yeah, the
And so this is
piano
what you-
gives me Sims. Aww. This little buddy. There's so many little buddies to like take pictures of.
You can also go around your camp and take pictures around your camp.
Yes.
Which is very cute.
New record!
You can also just save any pictures
Mario
you like,
Party
and
in there.
our SD card on this one is like our micro SD card is full of Amelia taking pictures of random things,
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and Naomi taking pictures of random things, and me taking pictures of perfect catches. On his. Oh, no,
Oh. What will we go exploit next?
So we've got here's our our photo decks, but basically our Pokédex.
I love that little thingy. I forget what its name is called. The one that walks around.
Trying to.
You know.
Is it a Clefairy? A Clefable?
No, the one in the lab right there, like right before we went here into our.
I will say,
Pokéflipping.
if anybody
Very
is
nice.
interested in going back and revisiting Nintendo 64 era games, and not this Switch version, of course, that's great, do this. But the original,
I think that's Clefable.
now is not the time to
That's
do that.
Clefable?
I think so. I guess you can look in the photo decks.
If you,
Man.
Yeah,
if everybody waits about 6 months to revisit a lot of
Now
Nintendo
it's not the
64
time.
games, they're all the big titles will be playable on PC natively in short order.
Oh, it's an Audino. Sorry, it's not a. It's an Audino.
Aldino.
Yeah, on alert.
It's so
Yeah, we're
sensitive to sound. See, it's one of us. That's why it's
Nice.
like hanging out in the
Oh, because it
like
auditions sound, right?
Aldino.
Okay. the
now
hearing
we can
Pokemon?
see-
It's
This is Chandelure.
Yeah,
It is actually kind of fun to go and be like, what? Where are we getting this name from? Chandelure is a little obvious.
Yeah, that's a little too on the nose. That's bad.
But it's like it's so funny how it's like you've been running out, right? Like running out of ideas at some point. Some
But
of these are very running out of
Look
ideas.
at how big this is.
One of the
This is
things
Scotty Dog.
I don't know if Felt Cute is still around in the chat, but one of the things about Pokemon Snap I like a lot is transforming a genre of game that is usually fairly frenetic. And there are times where Pokemon Snap is also frenetic, right?
Yeah.
You only have seconds to do the series of actions you need to do to get the shot that you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
And
are
it's
you
Unreal
talking-
Control.
musically,
Dana, I wanted to show you. This is what Kangaskhan looks like from the front, because you were confused with like that we saw in the other game.
yeah.
This is Kangaskhan. So Genghis-Khan, kangaroo. That's a kangaroo.
But musically, Pokemon Snap mostly functions in the cozy game space,
Oh yeah.
right?
so.
And-
It's an interesting cosification
Yeah.
Of a genre of media, an IP.
You could argue that Pokemon itself exists as a cosification of Dragon Quest.
What?
Because the idea of Pokemon comes from Dragon Quest V, where you can train monsters and capture them, right? And they were like, we should build a whole game out of this to compete with Dragon Quest. Let's do that, and that's why Pokemon exists.
Why did I think the show came first?
The show and the game and the card game all came out on the same day.
What? I thought it was very show cards.
No,
game.
it's the most coordinated
Fuck.
media blitz in North America of all time. But conceptually, all of
Incidentally,
Pokemon was
Sam.
made because of a feature in Dragon Quest V. That's not up for debate. Like,
I didn't know that.
That's amazing.
There's a complete teleology there.
Good luck.
So, how many people here, like many of us are old enough, but I don't know in the chat, are old enough to remember how much Pokemon took over North America?
Oh my gosh.
Like it was nothing like ever before. And everyone's mom was saying Pokemans and everything, and then yeah, it was a phenomenon.
Yep. Aha, I got you out of your little hole.
Wait, is that? We've got some bending flute notes, right? We've got some desert. Maybe not harmonic desert, but timbral desert we have going on here.
There's a lot of like,
Oh, yeah, because it's really quiet. I'll just turn it up on my end, actually. Oh yeah. This is
oh, we
instrument
got a little
desert.
bit more there.
This is instrumentally
Oh.
desert for sure. We have desert flute,
Ooh.
right?
Oh, now we got our half notes. Okay.
Come on. I think the first time you light them all three up at the same time, a thing happens. But
Okay.
because I did that, and usually that unlocks something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like this is the most tropified music
Like
here in terms of like,
aesthetically matching in terms of the tropes, yeah.
Yes.
oh, he cooked his apple.
Nice. I love that he cooks it then eats it. That rules.
To be fair, it does heal more health that way.
I was never big into
The old
Pokemon
man told
cards
me.
because I'm just older enough than the rest of you that I played Magic first and stuck with that.
Magic was something my cousins who were a little, like
played
2 years
Magic.
older than me played. Like it's so interesting how like granular it becomes back then. Because when you're little, like 2 years is a lifetime.
Yes, and there is also something, and maybe I'm out of turn here and you can correct me. Magic, when I was a kid,
Fail.
felt more gendered than Pokemon did.
I was gonna say.
Like,
Magic felt more
Yeah, I
yes,
That's
Magic the Gathering was like a boy
interesting.
thing. And
Pokemon
Pokemon was
was-
more
I
I
gender
feel like that
inclusive.
was one of the things about Pokemon was Pokemon felt very much like it was for everybody.
That
Like
was not the
everybody
case.
played Pokemon. I
Cool.
can remember
I was
the kid in
only-
like
I was only girl.
6th grade.
None of my friends, none of my girlfriends like knew what Pokemon was in any or admitted to knowing, which is also definitely a thing. But I had a group of boys who were my friends and me, and we played Pokemon. But I didn't realize, yeah, that I think that makes sense to me, but it wasn't my experience. Huh.
Today, if you go to a Magic draft on a Friday night, it still feels more gendered than Pokemon does today.
It probably smells that way too.
Oh, I've got stories, but we're not going to go there.
I'm just being me. I'm being awful.
I've got one good one, though. Seriously, ask me off camera in 40 minutes, and I'll tell you the good one.
Okay. Oof. It
Yeah,
did
flip
feel
thing, not good.
Misty and Jesse. Sorry, yeah, were.
Yes.
And James was extremely queer coded.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
God.
looking back, James absolutely was.
Like, even back then, even as a child who knew nothing and was quite sheltered, I was like, oh yeah.
I will say Misty is like a prototype Manic Pixie Dream Girl.
Yeah.
Like, that term didn't exist back then, but
Yeah. I think she was a lot of people's, like, my brother's friends. Like, I remember one of my brother's friends had, like, an enormous crush on Misty.
I really liked Misty. Like, aspirationally, I thought people should listen to her more. and I think Harry Potter was also like big at the time, at least for me too. And it was like the two guys and girl and a pizza place, maybe two guys, a girl, and a pizza place, like trope of fiction was so huge back then. It was always like the girl was screaming at everyone else and was always right, or maybe that's how I perceived it.
No, Hermione was always right.
She was always right.
Yeah, for what it's worth, Harry Potter Book 1 is 97 and Pokemon is 98. They are the same time
Yeah, it was
frame,
all
essentially.
Contemporaneous,
Yes.
as it were. Ah. Oh,
The
I
Harry
had
Potter
the kid
movies
in
come a
my-
little bit later, but if you were a book person,
yes. Oh, the casting call for Hermione was like, "Are you a nerd who has thick brown hair and glasses and like bad teeth?" I was like, "That's me." And they're like, "Do you live in England?" I was like, "No, but I can do the accent, I swear."
Actually,
I remember the casting call. I remember that. Oh man.
that's
I
hilarious.
don't remember seeing a call for that, but I also I didn't read the books.
Yeah, you weren't like a fan. Like
I
was
wasn't already a fan, so like I wasn't aware of it.
My first internet was like video games and Harry Potter. So that's where the call was.
Was that your first
Yeah.
like online community experience? Was like Harry Potter stuff?
It was like me and my friends with Harry Potter and video game fan fiction. Was like fan fiction and like game facts, where it was my first internet stuff that I did.
Okay.
And I made my own fan
Speaking-
fiction. Woo.
I think
Okay.
Dana heard this, but speaking of fan fiction, Harry Potter fan fiction, I read a super fun fanfic in the last couple years that was like, what if instead of Slughorn, they hired Gordon Ramsay as the potion master?
Sorry.
And it started out absolutely idiotic, like what a ridiculous pretense, right? And it ended up like super heartwarming. It was really like moving, and talking about like how he was a pacifist, and like it was this huge thing. It was great, loved it. Would recommend.
I was obsessed with Chrono Trigger fanfiction actually as well.
What?
So much so that I wanted to make I had no friends that like knew what Chrono Trigger was, and I was like, I made my cousins read it, and I was like, I want to make my parents read it, and my sister, and like they didn't play the games, but I'm like, I just want you to experience the world that I love so much. I mean, it wasn't I think people think of fan fiction and think of like the naughty stuff, but like the stuff I read wasn't. It was just an extension of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, not at that age.
We made up our own Pokemon a lot. Like that was the thing I remember doing as a kid, was like drawing my own Pokemon and coming up with names for it. You know, like that was really fun.
That is fun.
And then we didn't have I didn't read a lot of fanfic. We had our first internet was text only and you couldn't use a mouse. You had to just tab through everything. And
I think, yeah, so oh man. I mean, I this is also a question to kind of everyone who was alive and conscious, like during that sort of kind of like early internet times. And there was a thing of like with like Final Fantasy, the games that I played in the 90s, and Chrono Trigger and stuff, and the books I was reading, I was like, all I want is for this world to continue, and like it would be, and like we would like we would do our own like imaginings all the time. We would play like in real life IRL role-playing games, and so fan fiction and the internet and like internet art and stuff like that came about, and it seemed like I just remember the wonderment and joy that like there was this community of people that were like helping to continue these worlds in these interesting and strange ways, and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big part of like why Overclocked Remix exists, right? Somewhere between emulation and musical extension of the worlds that we loved, right?
Mm-hmm.
And man, what a community of amazing people. Many of whom I'm still in very regular contact with. And just it's been a delight every time those worlds have blended into my academic and professional life now.
Yeah.
But shout outs especially
Isn't that kinda awesome?
to Arrow and Dark Sword, who are among the coolest people I know and have known for a very long time now.
And shout out to you, Ryan, for like letting us into their worlds. Because I'm like, met so many people through you that are just so cool.
You have some good
Ryan
friends.
knows everyone. Ridiculous.
It's true.
I know. It's
How
been
do we
a
feel
few
about
years
this
since we've had
desert?
Jarrell on.
How do we feel
Incidentally,
about what,
we're
Dana?
not exactly a desert, but like a Badlands is what it's described
That was
as.
Sarah, not me. I know we're all brown
Oh, is
hair,
this-
white girl, but you know.
No, I thought I missed something you just said.
No, I was saying
Brown hair.
it's been an age since Jarrell has streamed
Yu-Gi-Oh.
with us.
Oh yeah. it
Yes.
has. Well, do you know what we'll get him on for? You keep playing FF14 when we hit. There's a specific moment I know exactly what
Which
it
is
is,
like
and I'll
so
bet
many
Julian
hours in,
also
I'll
knows
never hit it.
exactly the moment I'm talking about at the end of A Realm Reborn.
Oh, I
Yeah,
do.
that's gonna be
I
forever
promise
from
you,
now.
Jarrell Jones will hop on stream for that moment if
That-
you were willing to stream it.
I wasn't ready.
There's
And like I
without
yeah.
spoiling it, and I know Dana cares less about Julianne than spoilers, but absolutely nobody can spoil this for Dana Plank, or I will murder you. There's a moment where the game becomes good. And not just, like, it's good now where you're at, it's a good game, but you're like, oh god, they're gonna start doing things with this, aren't they? And then it
Yeah.
never stops.
it changes it like yes, it switches register in a particularly dramatic way.
Yes.
That is very meaningful and interesting, is all.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a couple moments throughout all of the 300 hours of plot that exist that everybody in our little community is like very careful about curating that experience for each new person.
Yeah.
And
that itself is just like a wonderful thing.
yes.
And I love when like I play and like everyone else has, done it and they're running the dungeons. Like people are they're very sensitive about the new people are watching the cutscene. I know we all have skips cutscenes on, but the new people are watching the cutscene, so let's wait for them before we
Yeah.
move on to the next section.
Yeah.
Like I just love
My
that
favorite
and
thing
part of
ever
that.
is Sigma Beta is one of our subscribers and regular viewers here. If somebody, he usually plays tank in FF14, and if somebody starts a boss fight while a new person is watching a cutscene, he will throw the fight.
Yeah.
He'll be like, no,
Great.
you can't win. I will not engage
I
the boss at
know.
all or take damage. Everybody will die
Good.
until that person's out of that cutscene.
Good.
Also was very interested in whether I thought Mother Mune was hot.
Spoilers, almost everybody in FF14 is hot. There's one absolutely grotesque boss in the Shadowbringers expansion that you are designed to hate. You do hate this person. He's evil incarnate, basically. But when you fight him, he transforms into a hyper-hot person.
God damn it.
And literally everyone's like, come on, man.
Maybe when both my kids are in school and I actually have am not interrupted every 30 seconds, maybe I will finally get to play Final Fantasy 14.
Well, we will be there with open arms.
Yep.
Well, that's good.
Good to see
Yeah,
you.
Julian, you get to participate in the curation of other people's experience now, right?
I know.
All right. Nice work. Nice work.
Also, for anybody keeping track, we've not had Beyonce at the DNC.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
Really?
I forgot. Oh,
We haven't?
is this still happening? Is this still going on?
Oh yeah.
I thought it'd be done at 10.
No,
'Cause I thought
we're
it started
not
earlier.
done. Harris is not speaking yet.
Oh, wow. We're not done. Okay.
There's still time.
They're gonna run late. It's fine.
Who has things to do on a Friday anyhow?
I do.
I do too.
I
Have
know.
meetings
tomorrow
all
morning.
day. And
Yeah,
at-
tomorrow's meetings day. Oof.
today was like the welcome back to the college picnic for faculty and staff hosted by the dean, which was very nice. We have a new dean who I like a whole bunch. And I had a last-minute ask. Somebody from the advising office, a good friend of mine, I was over at his house a couple days ago to play board games, actually, said that somebody else had to back out on him. Was I free to give a tour to a VIP? And I was like, well, I have a faculty meeting. And he was like, oh, no. That's not enough of an excuse. We can bump you from a faculty meeting for this person.
Who cares about faculty?
Who
Right.
was it? Who was it?
I don't know if I want to announce publicly, but
It
the
was
president of a
Beyonce.
corporation whose name you know.
So not Beyonce.
It's not
You
Beyonce.
can
It's
say
not
it.
Beyonce.
It
There are
was.
some people that I would have
Toast.
texted the three of you immediately about. Beyonce's on that list. You think I wouldn't brag about that?
Hope so.
I would drop my plans to go where you are. And
How
help
long
you
a tour can you give? Can you stall her until we can get there?
Until Julian
I
can
know.
fly in to be introduced to me.
from Tallahassee,
Right?
which has one flight a day.
I think the most famous person I've ever met, or at least interacted with, was Jerry Springer.
I've been really fortunate at Michigan State, actually. I didn't realize how big of an institution it was until I started working there a few years. But a couple years ago, for instance, I had Jeff Johns, head creative of DC Comics, stop by my Twitch stream class to talk with my students about video content creation. That ruled.
That's
that is great.
extremely cool. I met, oh, look at how cute they are all snuggled together. I met, all right, you're in the way. Are you gonna raise? What's going on here? Anyhow, I met Jerry Springer because I was singing High Holy Days at the temple that he attended in Cincinnati. And he shook my hand and told me I had a nice voice, and he wore a pink yarmulke.
That is so cool. I don't
Yep.
think I knew that.
Yeah, that's the most famous person I think I've ever met. And Squirtle! The baritone, because I was the alto soloist, the baritone was he will only do this once. He has a politician's memory. He will say it once, and he will never speak to you again. And that is precisely what happened. He will not bother doing it again. He will remember you. And so it was.
Nice.
I think the coolest person I ever met in person was Nobuo Uematsu.
Well,
'Cause I
that's
bought-
extremely cool.
But I mean, because I bought the most expensive ticket to Distant Worlds in Chicago when he was there, and I was just sobbing, and it was very embarrassing. And I'm like, I'm not gonna cry. I didn't think I'd cry. I was just ready. I don't know. I just right before I was in line for a long time, and right before the usher, it was the usher was there, and I just burst
Some kind
into
of signed poster.
It was just everything. Oh yeah, he signed my 3DS.
That's awesome.
Well, that's also.
Yeah.
So I don't know how visible this is going to be, but this is the
Play.
poster from the original Play concert series premiere at the Rosemont Theater in Chicago,
Oh yes.
where I
Remember
had
that. I wasn't there.
I had
But-
VIP tickets, and on this poster is Nobuo Uematsu, Yasunori Mitsuda, Yuzo Koshiro. There's 11 signatures on here.
Why
Did
don't you
talk
have
to
that
them?
framed? Why is it rolled up in your office, man? Why isn't that framed?
Because I'm
Framed
not good
in your
at things.
faculty office.
Oh my gosh. Get that.
Did you
shit
talk to them
framed.
at all? Because I did talk. I did try to actually. I wasn't just sobbing. I was actually speaking.
I
with...
got to talk
Well,
with everybody for 20 to 25 seconds. So I just got
Yeah,
a reception line.
very
It wasn't a long conversation or anything. It was thank you all for being so cool and awesome, right?
I actually was guess what? Nobuo Uematsu. There's a whole field that exists, and so many of us are talk about your work and are inspired by your work and think that it means so much, and it's an academic study, and as badly as I'm saying it right now, just imagine that even worse as I'm trying to explain this. And he is a translator and stuff. He can understand quite a bit of English, but yeah, it was it was very emotional, and I'm very happy I purchased that ticket.
Yes.
It's so good.
I will say that very occasionally, meeting your heroes like that can let you down. The other thing I got signed at that concert, and I was very excited about this at the time, and now it's in my basement, and it comes out for a specific teaching moment as a prop once a year, is Jeremy Soule signed my pocket guide to the Empire. Right? Like, I'm a big Elder Scrolls person. The Sermons of Vivek are next to my Bible on my bookshelf.
Oh, man. God.
And when we get to the lecture on Elder Scrolls in my game audio class, and there is one, Mikhail Kemp and Mark Sweeney have written an excellent chapter in the Routledge collection about Skyrim. I say, we will not be playing any of this music in class today. And there are some people that we talk about separating the art from the artist, that they are so important, or so this, or so that it justifies listening to their music. They're complex, complicated people. And I link them Will Chang's absolutely excellent, like, one of the top 5 best essays in the field ever, level, on why he plays R. Kelly and Michael Jackson for his students today.
Yeah.
If anybody who teaches students has not read that, that one's worth your time. And I do not require that reading of my own students, but I do link it as an extra thing they can go do. But I say, because people still make money off of this stuff, I can't do it, right? We listen to instead Daniel Rand's Beyond Skyrim Bruma soundtrack, which reworks a number of the motives from Elder Scrolls 4 into an Elder Scrolls 5 sound contest. Ooh. We get to moderate, right?
Sorry.
Yes, me and Julian are like excited.
I'm never in mod view. Okay, here we go.
All right, become a mod.
I want you to know I just got a 4-star Magikarp photo, and I'm trying to decide if it would rather have it big and centered but not entirely there, or further apart.
I saw the 4-star photo, and I'm really happy. It almost looks like Magikarp is being hugged there. I love that photo.
I think Magikarp is, and so I'm trying to figure out, is this better or
that's
this?
better. No, that's the top tier one right there. Number 2.
Well, because it's cut off a little bit, that you think you're gonna lose points. But it's bigger
save it
and closer. Yeah.
Yeah, which is more important.
But
also, it was a very cute moment.
in any case, for people who are still living and profiting off of essentially their bad behavior, I can't do it. And I always remind people that, like, it was tremendously emotionally important to me to get a word in with him. 15 years ago now?
Yeah.
And if I can do this, and I have a signed pocket guide to Tamriel, 2nd edition.
Right.
Right? Then you who like stuff less intensely than I do can also get over it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
There's a book I got, and I got to read about half of it before life got in the way. That was, I think it was in a philosophic, but it was basically like, what do we do with the art of bad people?
Right.
You know, how do we reconcile that? It was talking about, you know, Harry Potter in light of J.K. Rowling's transphobia.
Oh, I know.
And
she really ruined it.
all of that nonsense. She did. But and that is a lot of it is like, who's gonna get paid? Like we had talked about, you know, there was that Hogwarts whatever game, and like my brother played it, and I was like, I'm only willing.
Sorry, Neil is pouring wine and laughing. I'm still listening though.
Okay. But it was like, I am only willing to play this game if we can get it used.
Yeah.
So that no money goes to.
Yeah, that's also an interesting thing about like where the money's going, because then it's also like, well, there's people that worked on the thing, and like it's all becomes this whole conversation. But
Yes, I had a similar issue, though less publicly blamable on one individual, with the Diablo 2 remaster. which I ultimately did end up buying for what it's worth. But at the time,
It first the same thing. The professor picks a favorite and it locks up. Never done
Oh.
this before.
that's weird. Sorry, Sarah. I don't know what's up with that. Do we want to switch and let Julianne play? Because I know that she had some stuff.
Oh, I didn't know Julian wanted to. I'm sorry. I've just been really farting around.
No, I didn't get ready. I wasn't ready. I don't. I'm not
okay.
ready to play. I'm
Sarah's got the
sorry.
complete file, so we can just let Sarah vibe for
Yeah.
another couple minutes.
Well, I hear
I
your
agree with
stories.
Dark Sword. A lot of that comes down to how far back you're willing to follow the money.
Hey, Dark Sword.
For me, and I will say that this was a calculus that I made, and I don't hold a judgment against anybody who made a different calculus, a different decision about Diablo 2, that I knew people on that development team, like, who deserve my money, right? And, like, worked hard. How much am I willing to let the actions of a couple people impact my decision
Right.
to buy that game or not, right? And
Yeah.
the year that Diablo 2 Remastered came out, Blizzard happened to be the company under fire in the media that year. But just like I teach my game history students, and I teach Cecilia D'Anastasio's Kotaku article on the expose about sexism at Riot Games. And I teach that in part because it is old, which means we can be, like, temporally detached from the immediate impact of it, which is more mentally healthy for a lot of people in my class. But it's not as if Blizzard was the only company to have problems with this. This is an industry-wide problem. At some point, I could be like, well, I don't buy video games anymore. Right? If I don't want to buy products by sexist people. Right?
Right.
And that's not a thing. But
And there's also
One
one
of
of
the-
like, how dare they? Like, I will enjoy this on my own terms. Yeah, I don't know.
it's a really complicated subject to address. Yes, we were about 15 minutes ago or so. You're awesome.
That's a summary. We talk about a little bit about like internet and fan communities and like why they were important, especially in the early days. And we talked about OC Remix and
Talk about like the early days of
cool,
early 2000s OC Remix and DeviantArt.
Oh,
I've got a quick Dark Sword story to tell, actually, before I met you in person. And the two of us now have known each other almost 20 years, if it is not 20 years now. But before we met in person, somebody, his name is The Darrett on the OC Remix forums, and I also know this guy from way back in the day. But Dark Sword was one of the moderators of the Overclocked Remix forums, which means he had to do the hard work of dealing with people, not just shit posting for fun, because, you know, we're a happily dunking on each other community. Like,
that's an internet thing.
like we
Yeah.
are here, right? But there were seriously things that had to be removed.
Like
right?
Julian is on you. Let's be real here.
No. I'm talking about like bad material, right? Had to
Yeah.
go. And somebody made like a custom ban hammer for one of like Dark Sword's birthdays. This is probably like 2005,
Aw.
2006, and it was like this 3D like sculpted hammer like GIF, and it was like the coolest thing I had seen in a long time back then, when I was like a college student still.
Show us the hammer. I want to see it.
I don't
Link
know
the
if it's
hammer.
still up on the forums, actually. I should try and track it down. I'll bet anything Darkseid knows what I'm talking about, though.
One of my early internet memories was looking up fan theories on Ocarina of Time, right? So
Yes.
specifically, there were
Fan
those rumors that like you could unfreeze Zora's domain.
Oh, yeah, like as Adult Link, you mean, yeah.
Yeah, you could unfreeze. There were all those rumors, and that looking into those is how I said the word "fuck" for the first time.
Nice.
That's a beautiful origin story.
Because there was one about like going and fishing, and you can catch the guy's hat, and like it was part of the steps to unfreeze Zora's domain, obviously. And it was like the camera will be all fucked up, and I did not know this was a swear word because I was like 10 and very sheltered. And my cousin, who played a lot of video games and we hung out a lot, was there, And he was like, and I was like, what? And he's like, that's a really bad word. I had no idea.
So
That's
one of the
how I
things
learned
do
what the
have,
F word
I don't
was.
think I can post pictures in Twitch chat. But one of the things you could do is, on the Overclocked Remix forums back in the day, is you could have an image-based signature. As opposed to, like, if you've gotten an email from me in the past 10 years or so, I have a set of quotes from Raceland Majra and the Count of Monte Cristo in my Gmail account. That's my signature.
Yes.
On the Overclocked Remix forums, you could have an image as your signature. And I was no artist, but there were, like, a handful of artists who would be like, hey, if you're cool and I know you, like, online, just let me know what art you want, and I'll make you custom art for your signature. So I have a series, and I can tell you exactly which person has made each one of these images now. I have a series of, like, Bardic Knowledge signatures, all of which are awesome. Let me see if I can pull one up on the stream very quickly.
Does this feel woodsy, by the way? We're in a mysterious woods that, depending on what you do, you might end up in a different season.
Yeah, so
And I think like if we had the
here you go.
ice theme
Here
one,
is
it
my
would feel
original
equally at place.
signature on the Overclocked Remix forums, which absolutely slaps, by the way. This is Edward from Final Fantasy IV next to Guido the Turtle from Final Fantasy V. Made custom for me by Dulafe from the Overclocked Remix forums. And later, somebody was like, hey, that was pretty cool. What if I made you, this other guy, Ocer, O-C-R-E, like ogre. What if I made you a 16-bit version of that for, like, special times and holidays? Oh yeah, I've got that too. Check this out. Like, the forum signature culture was out of this world excellent back then.
Oh, nice. I finally realized where you were putting it. Cool. Aww.
And then
I remember signature.
the last one I've got is, for a long time, this is like 6 or 8 years, a long time, June was boss month on the Overclocked Remix forum. So you had to change your picture signature to a boss. So, of course, I had The World Ends With You custom made for me. Because what a cool-ass boss for a music student, right? Like the boss who wears headphones and is awesome.
What? So what's stopping you from using this as your current faculty signature? Or any of these? And that during June.
Right, well, so you all do know that the image that is the background of this stream, and I'm going to bump it ahead layer-wise of everybody else for just a moment.
I know what it is, musically.
This image, let me bring back, I'll mute the game briefly. Oop. But I'll...
Yeah,
No, let me just bump it up, that's easier. This image comes out of Overclocked Remix forum signature culture, because I commissioned this from the current Overclocked Remix head submissions judge, Andrew Lors, who's the lead artist on Tangledeep and Flowstone Saga, which comes out in a week or two. And so that, in some small way, that signature culture has stuck around on this stream. But the idea that I could be, like, asking somebody who I'd never met in real life, and some of those folks who made signatures for me I still have never met in person. Like, Dulafe is a French citizen. I've never been to France to meet him, right? They would just make custom art for people because the early 2000s were the best part of the internet. And if you're young, you missed it. Sorry, you lost.
I know.
Right?
Sorry. You really lost something. It's like the playing outdoors of the internet.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Like when you could just go off in the woods. Quick poll for all girls in the chat and here. When you were like 10-ish, did you go through a witchy phase? Where you like made potions and shit in the woods?
Oh yeah.
Or yeah.
I made stuff out of things that I found, and then also had like a palmistry book that I had.
Dana, don't worry about being
Ouija
gone.
board.
Like, if you had something, have something, right? Like that's if I got the right phone call, I would absolutely bail on this stream. So
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Right.
Do. Yeah, but yeah.
Because we like deep cleaned Amelia's room when she was at a friend's house so that she wouldn't notice, and we found all these like little jars with twigs in them, and Ben was like what is this? I was like, oh, she's just in the witchy phase. That's just like a normal thing.
No.
And he was like, what are you talking about?
Aww.
And I agree that we should absolutely bring back June as boss month next June on the Overclock Remix Discord.
Actually, yeah. So I support this.
Nice work. Great timing.
Kamala is only speaking now. I mean, she's been speaking, but
Yeah, but it's
I didn't realize it'd be this late. I mean, we are Eastern timers, but still.
I guess is she 1 hour behind us?
yeah, in
Chicago.
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, they're central.
Central time.
All right, actually, I'm gonna take off my bone headphones because I missed it. Hold on.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of those, Julianne, I have TMJ issues and the conduction headphones don't bother me.
Oh, they don't?
Yeah.
You had asked.
I can say they do.
Also, totally
No, they don't.
random update for everybody.
Okay.
Like 5 days ago, Julianne just sold me a pair of headphones by talking about how cool hers were, and I got like jealous enough. I was like, I have to have those, and I have enough money to buy them.
Are they the
so I'm going
Shocks
to.
ones?
They're the Shocks ones.
They are
Yeah,
the
they're,
Shocks
they're like
ones.
the basic ones, the open moves that they're like on sale.
They're
So it was like
very
$60 something.
Yeah.
And they just
I got the pro ones for $80 because there was one color on Best Buy on sale.
nice.
One color. And I use it. You know what I use it for most? To listen to podcasts in the car while my kids are in the car because I can still hear and I can actually listen to something I want to listen to in the car.
Nice.
Seriously, yes. I just tried this out in the car. I don't have kids, but it's like a very good if you still want to be aware of anything and
Yeah.
also hear something. It's like perfect for that.
Nice.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously, everywhere we should bring back Boss Month for June. I absolutely agree. That's a great idea.
Sure.
Yeah, literally
But
everywhere.
not like your actual boss. Not like your actual boss.
Yeah, not a real like business boss. No business bosses
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Right?
I just want to make sure we're clear because now we're all old and like have jobs
Yeah.
theoretically.
Theoretically, some of our
Whatever,
jobs are
my
goofy.
boss is cool. Maybe we'll have Mike Stern on in June. We'll see.
My like chair is like great. So, knock on wood. It's like he's like one of those people that like if once he stops being chair, like once you know certain staff people are like this, right? Like once they're gone, like I think the thread of the universe will unravel. Like they really keep everything going. And it makes me nervous. I was, you know, so $1 million raises for these people.
Right?
Don't care what it takes. Oof.
I
I work
originally
at a church.
felt that way when, so again, I mentioned we have a new dean this semester, who I do like a whole bunch, by the way. She's been here about 6 or 7 weeks now. She started in like between June and July, right?
July, yeah.
Like you do. And
Boss month.
That's right, exactly. And she's doing great. But when the old interim dean became the provost, the interim dean took the dean's assistant position with her. Like Julie, the former dean's assistant, is now the provost's assistant, right?
Yeah.
Which means the dean's assistant office, which is like the office that keeps my building running, team,
Yeah.
right? Didn't have Julie anymore. And I was like, oh God, what's gonna happen? Because as much
Literally
as
falls
I like both the previous dean, the interim dean, and the new dean, it was Julie who kept everything.
It's
the assistant,
always the
who was
assistant
keeping everything
that
running
does it.
well,
Yeah.
right? And so I was like,
Whew.
who are we going to replace this position with? And thank God, somebody I like and worked with previously got that job, because now it's like I still know this person who's eminently capable. Hi, Kristen, if you ever see this. And just an absolutely I'm over the moon that somebody who is both deserving and I like a lot has that job.
It's so good. Oh, it's so important.
Yeah. Also,
Like your day-to-day
some
life, yeah.
unsolicited advice to all of the close to done graduate students in our community. it doesn't matter who your other faculty members are or the chair is at some level. You need to become friends with the staff people who make life possible.
That's just good life advice.
Right? Like, don't ever upset
Yeah,
those people.
to everybody. For real. And like, why would you? I don't think anyone here would, but like, just like knowing.
It is also true, though, that there is an academic culture of faculty being rude to staff.
Which is like, I just can't even, I don't know if it's the generation thing or like something different or just like, I don't know. It's
Entitlement.
wild that would be
You know,
like, a thing that happens.
Yes.
Like at all.
And I also realized that
their
nobody
entitlement,
here
and it's like the
in this
boomers.
Twitch channel needs that advice from me. But it is correct nonetheless that you must make friends with your staff support.
Yep.
Our office administrator was Darlene at CCM, and she was lovely. And when I go back into Cincinnati, I always try to say hi to her, and like I saw pictures of her grandkids, and they were very cute. But I think there's that sense of entitlement, and like that's how you prove you're, powerful. And I know that a lot of people think teenagers and the youths are entitled, but I think really like old white dudes are the worst, and that used to be, faculty demographic is old white dudes.
Nice work.
There's a genre of, and I don't want, if anyone ever watches this is not people in my department. Like everyone, my colleagues, I always say this, like so lucky that they're all just like, we all do different things and we're all cool and all nice to each other. But I think there's a genre of like older woman in general academia, not just like music, that because it was so hard for them, usually like white women, because it was so hard for them, they're almost like it can't be easier for anyone else. Like it's almost like they want to kick the ladder just because, like, I don't know. There's some of that.
And they gotta toughen you up otherwise.
Yes, and like, I mean, the people in my department who are older, like, are not like that and like are very mentory and stuff like that. But I also have seen that, and not just academia, other places too, where it's like male dominated. But it's almost like cutting your teeth. You have to like have it hard. I don't know. I might just be over.
Well, it's kind of like that. Like, in order to succeed, you have to become really good at the existing standards, which are, competitive and masculine, instead of rethinking whether those standards are worth keeping anyhow.
Yes, it's like adhering to something, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Boop.
Yeah, I was fortunate in that we had faculty that were very, one of the faculty I actually nannied for was very upfront, like, these are the things that are hard to do in academia, like these are the things that you need to watch out for in academia as a mom. Because she was the only female faculty in like PM who had kids.
Yeah.
And she was brilliant. Yeah. She was like, this is what you need to watch out for. It is not easy. And I actually she got to meet my kids when we went down to Cincinnati about a year and a half ago, which was really special. Because she was Dr. Lasada was just an enormous influence. And I actually never had her as a professor, but she was really important in that aspect. Do you want me to do another one? We've got like 1 minute. I'm not going to start another one.
No, let's be done. I really like the idea of, like, the vibes-based music of this franchise, the 2 Pokemon Snap games. Kind of encouraging you to create your own play, even though you're on rails the whole time.
Right.
Right? Like, again, this engagement between the Pydic and the Ludic play.
Yeah, this is very much there are quests up here in the corner, and I accomplished some of them at various points. Like, I got a picture of it burning fruit, so I completed that. But you can just do whatever you want. Do it over and over again. And it's extremely chill, but you're right about missing the opportunity of being able to score it. I have been hearing all the music at a lag because of my ancient capture card, and it does not impact gameplay at all.
Right.
Because I turned down the sound effect, so that like second or two lag makes no difference. Which is a demonstration of a missed opportunity.
Yeah, but that sounds like we're dunking on it. Like, this game's good, right?
It's
really
supposed to
fun.
be that.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It's really fun, especially to do it in the Switch handheld mode, because it's like you're taking pictures with a cell phone. Like, it's everything I wanted as a child.
Right.
To be able to take pictures of Pokemon. Like, I have enjoyed so much of this game. Like, I think Amelia's playing. I was like, ooh, can I help you?
Apologies,
help you? I'll do
this
it.
Came up while I was on a phone call, but I'm curious if any of you played Pokemon Go, and where you feel like this fits in that landscape of, like you were saying, using the phone and like there's Pokemon. I know that one is a traditional Pokemon game, but like AR. But
It's
I'm
also
curious if there's
not
like
really
interesting
a traditional
mappings there.
Pokemon game, though, right? Like, it has more of the mechanics transfer, but it's still not the same as a traditional Pokemon game.
I think
This does not have the community aspect that Pokemon Go does, right? Like, that Pokemon Go is really about creating community gathering spaces. But pre-pandemic, right? After the pandemic, they reframed everything about Pokemon Go to be playable offline. It's a very different game now than it was in, like, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there's something to be said for a repetitious loop as opposed to one narrative. Because the mainline Pokemon games are JRPG narratives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if there's
Yeah.
a post-game experience to some of them. I mean, you can make that argument readily for, like, Final Fantasy X also, right? Like, you can go fight the Dark Aeons now if you're willing to level up an insane amount. In the same way that, like, you can go fight the extra content in Pokemon if you're willing to, after the Elite Four, level up an insane amount.
Mm-hmm. And this also, I don't know how many folks played Detective Pikachu or watched Detective Pikachu.
I didn't
But we did
realize there
both.
was a
It was
game.
Amelia's-
I thought it was just a Chris Pratt movie.
It doesn't have Chris Pratt in it. Chris is the worst Chris. Chris Pratt is not in that movie.
Yeah.
It's Ryan Reynolds.
Boo.
Oh, it's Ryan Reynolds. Okay.
Ryan Reynolds.
See,
yeah.
I didn't see the movie, so
It's actually really good. It was Amelia's first movie theater movie. But I also played the game on DS, and it's kind of like Pokemon Snap, and it's like, okay, so if you've imagined a world where there are just Pokemon everywhere, what other things are going on in this world? Like, most of the people you fight as Ash are like, I like bugs. I got a lot of bugs. And you're like, oh, I have the right type to play that. But most of the people are just like living their lives. What are all these people doing with their pets?
Hmm.
You know, like,
now I have to Google what Chris Pratt was in. Like, what am I thinking? Because I can like
Mario.
clearly picture him with Detective Pikachu. I'm like, why? Why is that in my head?
that's a cursed
Mario.
timeline. That is
Yeah,
a
it
cursed
is.
timeline. Chris Pratt is the worst Chris.
I mean, I sure.
He's Mario.
Who are all
in
the Chris's
Mario
again?
movie.
See, I don't even know. There's Hemsworth.
Okay, so
right?
like Chris Hemsworth
there's
is great.
Pine,
Fine.
Evans.
And Evans, the four
Yeah, the four
Pratt
Chris's.
quadrants.
Chris Evans. Do I know Chris
And
Evans? Who's Chris,
Chris
Evans? I'm
Evans
gonna
is
look him
Captain
up.
America, and he
Captain
was
America.
in.
He's in
Very
Knives Out
important
as well.
to go over
Yes,
time
that's
for.
the other one I was thinking.
Okay.
And then
Oh, Andrew
Uh,
Powell. There's a correct answer to that.
Chris.
Friend of the stream, Joe Zija, who voices Fox McCloud in the Star Fox anime, should voice Fox McCloud in the Star Fox movie.
Oh yeah. No,
at
that's
some
the real
point,
answer.
if you guys do the Star Fox stuff, you have to pull in. I think it's a GameCube one where it's like a totally different genre, and it's like basically I think it's supposed to be a different game that was reskinned that was
Something
very
assault or whatever.
divisive.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
No, you're
I
talking about
Star Fox Butt Assault or whatever.
it is Dinosaur Planet, and actually, I released the ROM where Crystal was the main character, because Anita Sarkeesian addresses this in the Tropes vs. Women series on
God.
YouTube. We, as a community, which is to say, not me, but like invested cool internet people, found the complete Dinosaur Planet Nintendo 64 ROM as a completed game that you can play today, where all of the Fox McCloud stuff is removed and it's just Crystal running around the universe. It's tremendous. I have that Nintendo 64 ROM, and if anybody needs it to play, DM me and I will email you. P.S.
There's so many things.
I have all the cool shit. I'm so good at this.
Ryan has the best cool shit, and that's why we have to make fun of him for being old, because otherwise he's just too cool. You'll have a teenager before I do.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have a teenager in a year and 3 months. I'm not ready for that. Speaking of being cool, though, unfortunately, Sarah is too cool for us and is too employed for
I
us.
know.
This is her
I'm
last
so
week with
mad.
us.
I have
So
to go
bad.
back to work.
I
I will
hate
miss
you.
you.
So,
It has been so much fun to hang out with you guys on Thursday. I have missed you all so much, and I'm glad I actually get to see you in October.
I'll
Except
see you
Julian.
Saturday.
I know. But
So-
that's okay.
Yeah,
Sarah,
I get to see you
as
Saturday,
usual,
Dana.
anytime you're free, you are welcome to swing by and hang out with us.
Delighted.
But it has been a delight to hang out
Me
with you
too.
the past 6 weeks or so. And I wanted to be able to
Yes.
say that on stream before
Yeah,
we end
before
for the
we're
night.
actually we're done.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's
Thanks
been
for Pokemon snapping too with us.
You're welcome. That was
I-
longer than
I was
we had
watching
planned.
the whole time I was on the phone, even though I wasn't able to like be participating. So
Oh, no worries. It was vibes in the background while we talk about what it would be like to have an electric rat as a
Yep.
pet.
that would be inconvenient.
I don't know what we're doing next week as usual, but we'll figure something out.
Thanks, Anthony.
I was originally going to buy Visions of Mana and Demand that we play at day one, but after trying the demo, it doesn't work well with my controller, and I'm feeling petty, and I don't know that I want to spend $60 on it.
That's a lot of money to spend.
So, we're gonna bicker amongst ourselves and figure it out. But we will be back next week with something to celebrate the beginning of school, and I'm sure there will be some venting to come.
I'm already
Woohoo!
started, y'all. I already started.
Oh no, I have orientation tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
so-
you started. I'm next. I'm Monday.
Yes, we should do Rhapsody. Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. Okay, I will think about that, Dark Sword. I will think very strongly about that, actually.
You could
That
stream
sounds
it
like
with
music.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
Dark Sword. Anyone who suggests anything has to stream with us. Sorry, it's a new rule.
you should come on with us. We're gonna bug you about this. That's a good
You
idea.
have to come on with us.
This
Uh,
is like the funnest hangout. This is such a fun excuse to just hang out with you guys, and think about things and talk about things. It's just such a delight.
All right.
End of
I'm
September.
excited to
Oh my gosh.
discover it as well. I've also not played it, but I know what it is and it rules. This is a good idea. I'm gonna bug you over the next couple days, Dark Sword, to come and join us next week for this. This is an excellent idea. For now, though, I'm gonna say goodnight to everybody. We're gonna go catch up on see if Beyonce ever did show up to the DNC or not. We'll see.
Oh yeah, is that happening?
Right? Who knows? Julian and
I'm
I
gonna
were
go
hyper
check.
excited about it, and they're like, "Oh, we have like this stream to do. Maybe we should like
We have to do the stream.
not do that." But
She's, I think,
for now,
Calm
good night,
us
everybody.
a lot.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Anyway, good night.
Bye.
We'll see y'all.
Bye bye.